डॉक्टर बाबा साहेब आंबेडकर ओपन यूनिवर्सिटी.
Namaskar dear students, I am Dr. Himanshu Patel and I am working as an assistant professor in School of Computer Science of Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar Open University, Ahmedabad, and I am your instructor for this module. In today's session, we are going to discuss one very interesting important topic, that is graphics and animation. In today's session, we will learn about horizontal scroll view, how to draw shape on the screen. We will learn different type of shapes. We also learn how to create animation through XML, and we will discuss different types of animation. And at the end, we will take demonstration of all the things that we have learned in this session. So, friends, let us start with today's learning objective. After studying this module, learner should be able to use horizontal scroll view, use canvas and paint to draw shapes and text, define shapes as an XML resource. He or she can define shape programmatically. They can add animation to their user interface, and learner can perform basic animation through XML. Now, let us start with horizontal scroll view. Horizontal scroll view we will use for creating gallery. So, it is a view that can be scrolled by user, allowing it to be larger than the physical display. It means the area covered by horizontal scroll view can display images or views larger than its physical size. That means you can have multiple images or views that can be scrolled. So, it may allow you to be larger than the physical size. A horizontal scroll view is a frame layout, meaning you should place one child in it containing the entire content to scroll. So, there is a one child which stores all the view that you want to scroll. A child generally used is a linear layout in a horizontal orientation. Why? Because in linear layout with horizontal orientation, we can add multiple views that can be scrolled by horizontal scroll view. So, you can have feel like a gallery that shows multiple views that can be scrolled. Horizontal scroll view only supports horizontal scrolling. For vertical scrolling, you have to use either scroll view or list view. So, we will use this control in demonstration so that you can better understand how to use horizontal scroll view to display multiple view and you are able to scroll them. Let us learn how to draw something on screen. With Android, we can display images such as PNG and JPG graphics as well as text and primitive shapes to the screen. Primitive shapes means rectangle, oval, etc. We can paint these items with various colors, styles or gradients and modify them using standard image transforms. So, you are not only able to draw something on screen, but you can also able to provide different colors and styles to those shapes, and you can also modify them using image transforms. We can even animate object to give the illusion of motion. We will learn in demonstration how to create animation or how to perform various kind of animation on screen. There are two classes that is available to draw on screen. One is canvas and another is paint. To draw to the screen, you need canvas object. That means using canvas you can draw something, but whatever style or color information that you have to provide using paint object. We can create canvas object by extending the view class for drawing and implementing onDraw method. So, we will define one class which extends view, and inside that we write down onDraw method to draw something on screen. Now, let us understand canvas in some detail. It is basically available in Android.graphics package and class name is canvas. It can be used to draw graphics in Android. It provides methods to draw oval, rectangle, picture, text, line, etc. So, all primitive shapes can be draw using canvas, and by using combination of these primitive shapes, you can also draw some complex shape. To draw something, you need 4 basic components. First, a bitmap to hold the pixels. Second, canvas to host the draw calls, a drawing primitives, and a paint class object. The dimension of canvas are bound by the container view. That means a view in which we place this canvas object, and you can retrieve the width and height of canvas using get height and get width method. Another class is paint class. The paint class holds the style and color information about how to draw geometrics, text and bitmaps. For example, I want to draw a rectangle, but its fill color and its border can be specified using paint. Now, let us look at some of the properties of paint class that we are going to use. The first is paint color. You can set the color of paint using set color method. So, remember, set color is used to set paint color. Then we can also specify anti-aliasing. Now, what is anti-aliasing? Anti-aliasing makes graphics look smoother on the screen. That means, if you draw a line, it looks smoother if it is use anti-aliasing methods. Then we can also specify paint styles. Paint style controls how an object is filled with color. Then there is a paint gradient. All gradients need at least 2 colors, a start color and end color, but might contain any number of colors in an array. So, you can also specify gradient. Gradient means combination of multiple colors that you can use to fill shape using paint object. Let us understand these with an example. On screen you can see we have defined one circle shape class which extends view. So, to draw something you have to define one class which extends view, and inside this class you have to override onDraw method which has return type void, and it takes one object as an argument which is canvas. So, inside onDraw I have written canvas.drawColor and color is black. It means the canvas is filled using black color, and then we declare one object of type paint which is circle paint, and we have create instance of this object by calling new paint. In third line we write down circle paint dot set color, color dot red. What does it mean? It means whatever we draw on canvas should be filled color red. Then we actually draw the shape. Here I write down canvas dot draw circle. So, it draws circle at 100, 100, that is the center of circle, and 50 is the radius of circle, and fourth argument circle paint specifies how to or what will be the style of this circle fill color. So, here it should be red. When I create instance of this class circle shape and set inside set content view of any activity, it actually draws small circle of red color in screen. So, this is how we can create view, we can implement on draw method, we can draw using canvas, and drawing style can be specified using paint that we have seen. So, here we can say we have dynamically created view and set that view as a content view of some activity. So, these last lines set content view should be written inside on create method of any activity in which you want to set these as a content view. So, I hope these example clears how to use view, how to use canvas, how to use paint, and how to set content view of some activity as a dynamically created object of view class. Let us try to understand how to draw shapes on screen. We have already learned one method, draw circle of canvas to draw circle. So, you can define and draw primitive shapes such as rectangle and ovals using the shape drawable class in conjunction with variety of specialized shape classes. You can also define paintable drawable as XML resource file, but more often especially with more complex shape, this is done programmatically. So, what you can do is we write down code to draw shapes, right, but you can also write down XML code to draw these, and then you can set that view as a content view. So, we have already learned layouts, right. So, layout is nothing but a view which contains another view. So, you likewise you can create your own shapes in XML and set that shape as a content view for particular activity. So, once you draw something on screen, you can animate that also. So, animation are especially useful when the screen changes state, such as when content loads or new action becomes visible. So, animation add lives to your user interface. Animation can also add polished look to your app, which gives your app higher quality feel. So, using animation you can create more dynamic apps, right. Animation can be performed through either XML or programmatically through Android code. We write down code to load animation defined inside XML resource, and then we start animating that object. Now, let us learn some examples of animation. So, fade in. Fade in means image appears smoothly on the screen. Fade out means image gone smoothly from the screen. Then there is a rotation. So, you can rotate particular shape or entire screen using rotation. Translation means moving either in horizontally or vertically. So, that is called translation. Then there is a zoom in to make image shape larger, or zoom out to make image shape smaller. Then there is a blink which continuously blinks your image or shape. Then we can have composite animation also, that is a combination of multiple animation together. Composite means more than one animation applied simultaneously. And we can have sequential animation also, in which multiple animations are applied one by one. In what is difference between composite and sequential? In composite, multiple animation applied simultaneously, but in case of sequential, we will apply animation one by one. For example, first we rotate object, then we translate object, then we move back to original position, and then we can zoom in or zoom out. So, this is example of sequential. In case of composite, we apply multiple animations simultaneously. So, this is the difference. So, I hope you understand what is animation, when to use animation, and different types of animations. Now, let us try to understand steps to create animation. There are basically 4 tasks or steps to perform an animation on any user interface element. First, you have to create XML that defines the animation. We will see it is very easy to specify animation in XML resource. Second, you have to load that animation, then you have to set the animation listener. Now, this is optional. If you want to listen to animation events like start of animation, end and repeat, then you need to implement this. Otherwise, this is optional. And finally, you can start the animation. So, these are the basic 4 steps that are involved in creating animation. Now, creating animation is very simple. All it need is creating necessary files, that is XML files, and you have to write 2 lines, very small piece of code to load and start the animation. So, I hope you are now clear how to create animation or broad steps for creating animations. Inside XML file, we specify some attributes to actually create animation. Now, let us try to look at those XML animation attributes. So, first very important is Android : duration. Now, these specifies duration of the animation in which the animation should complete. And remember, the time we specify is in millisecond. That means, if I write down 5000, it means 5 seconds, right. So, you have to remember that this duration is generally specified in milliseconds. So, accordingly, you have to write down these. Then, there is a Android : start offset. It is the waiting time before an animation starts, and this property is mainly used to perform multiple animation in sequential manner. So, inside start offset we also specify time, but it is the time that should be waited before animation starts. Then we have interpolator. So, it is the rate of change of animation. How quickly or slowly your animation should perform. It is specified using interpolator. Now, there are multiple constants are available that you can specify inside these attribute. Then we have Android : feel after, which defines whether to apply the animation transformation after the animation completes or not. If it is set to false, the element changes to its previous state after the animation. Now, what does it mean? Suppose assume that I have performed translation. So, it moves object from one place to another place. So, after completing translation, suppose I want to move that object back to its original place, then I have to set this property to false. Then we have repeat mode. It is useful when you want to animation to be repeat. Inside repeat count, you have to define number of repetition on animation. If you set this value to infinite, then animation will repeat infinite times. So, by using combination of repeat mode and repeat count, you can decide how many times animation should be repeated. So these are the some XML attribute that we will use to perform animation, and we will specify all these attributes in XML file. And remember, all animation are defined inside animation directory inside resource folder of your application, and inside animation we can define multiple animations. So let us sum up, friends. In this module we have learned about horizontal scroll view, which is used to move multiple views in a horizontal direction. We have discussed canvas and paint to draw shapes and text. We have also discussed how to define shapes as XML resources and how to define shapes programmatically and add animation to user interface and perform basic animation through XML. Now we have not write down any kind of code for this, but in demonstration we will write down actual code to perform all these things like drawing shapes, create animation, start animation, etc. So friends, I hope you enjoy this session. Thank you and happy learning.
स्वाध्यायः परः